how's it going?
Good,
D8,
good.
D9 Smackdown today. It's going to be good. I'm sure everybody's going to be hating on us for sure. I don't know what's going to happen here.
We'll see. Sometimes you have to ruffle some feathers to get the conversation started.
Maybe. Yeah, we're not going to really play any games here. We're just going to see. They're going to be opinions. Don't hate us for them. Whatever. We're just going to put it out there. And we've been known to change our minds, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We kind of just, you look at the data, you see the data, is the data fine? We kind of change your minds over scientifically based, with
absolutely.
the way we deal with our opinions. So,
yep.
Anyway, so welcome everybody. This is extrakTALKS, and I got Jared here, and we're just going to kind of talk about D8, D9. We did a post on LinkedIn that got a lot of traffic. It was one of those ones. Oh man, this is people are really interested in this stuff.
Yeah, well, they're highly opinionated because they feel very strongly one way or the other, and this is it's definitely dividing the hemp and cannabis community.
Right.
On how to react.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's several different things, and it just kind of depends on who it is, whether you're a D9 producer, potentially seeing your profits, getting less.
That could happen. I mean, you don't want, D8's down at the local gas station.
Absolutely.
You spend all your time and effort and money to get a license for D9,
exactly.
And then all of a sudden,
this guy
you got the local hemp guy, doing an acre, that spent maybe $5 for his seed is now selling, D8
and killing the game.
Yep.
And
so that's a big issue. It is a big issue. Well, it's not fair, right?
No.
That's fundamentally unfair.
No, it definitely is unfair. But I mean, that's just the nature of where the industries are right now.
Right.
Way over, I want to say over-regulated in the cannabis industry because you can never be too safe, and then almost under-regulated in the hemp to where, if I wanted,
it's just a normal commodity, so it should be all over the place.
Absolutely, across the board, realistically.
Well, that's not the way it is. Okay, the medical people have a very different perspective. Right. So they, for example, in Canada, our friends in Canada and friends in Europe, they look at it as, hey, look, if we're going to do this and we are going to claim that there are medical benefits to this, then we need to have clinical data behind what we're saying.
Right.
And in order to do that, you really need to, those are the guys that really want to process the heck out of the plant and basically make it into something actually unnatural so that you can isolate it really so that you can say, hey, this has an effect and here's how much it is. That's required by clinical science, right?
Right, absolutely, and it's very expensive.
So that's processing. So it doesn't, isolate doesn't look like the plant at all, like whether you're talking about THCA or... Or CBD isolate doesn't look like the plant.
No,
and it doesn't. So that's super highly processed stuff.
Very. And if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the most. Isn't isolate more popular, found in more products than full spectrum because it's more widely available? Places when you can say there's
widely available, right? And some people don't want to have any THC in there. So unknown to a lot of people, I mean, the Farm Bill, the 2018 Farm Bill, allowed 0.3% THC in there.
Yep.
But a lot of people who say, okay, hey, look, I'll allow hemp-based products in my gas station, right?
Yep.
And I got 50 gas stations, but I don't want any THC in there at all. I only want CBD. So that's where the phenomenon of THC-free came up.
Yep.
And then the FDA says, no, you can't say THC-free because we can see a molecule. And that's bad advertising. That's false advertising. You have to say THC non-detect, right?
Just trying to make it difficult. Like I understand where they're coming from.
THC, ND anyway?
Now you got to re-explain it to people. It doesn't surprise me that they're kind of putting many roadblocks in there to, make it difficult to legitimize it.
But that would be one thing. I agree with you. So we have the asymmetry of economics related to D8, D9 people, and the D8 people are like, hey, we're just doing this, man.
Yeah.
And because guess what? It's in the law, right? And
We're protected.
Yeah, we're protected. Okay. And then the D9 people are like, wait just a second. We put all this time and all this effort and all this money and we got greenhouses. How are we supposed to compete with that, right? Or we got profits that look. Nothing wrong with profits. We're all about profits. Okay, so from that perspective, it's just I would say it's just not fair, right?
No.
And then and then from the other perspective, the medicinal perspective, what I don't understand is medicinal people. They're like, it has to be natural. Well, medicinal people, if they're taking true medical science, again, you got to have the clinical side of it, right? And
Absolutely.
that's just that we're just driving towards pure compounds all the time, so that you could put them back into a non-natural mixture, so then you can say, hey, this has an effect or not. So
well, and realistically, that's where I think it may not be in 5 years, 10 years, but in the future, I mean, it's going to be isolated cannabinoids. We're going to start finding out, hey, this works for this works for that, for this specific person, and that's what it's going to take. You can't just, there's not a weed that's, you know, going to work for everybody all the time and the same
personalized medicine.
Absolutely. And that's the only way you can do that is through isolation.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing would be like, I think in like a lot of people now are talking about CBN, you know, and I hate to bring another cannabinoid into this, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. Helps drive the point home.
You know, CBN, for example, I mean, you know, there's a lot of different ways to make that. You know, one way to do is to cook the heck out of, you know, a THC, right? Bring it down basically in the presence of oxygen. That's one way to do it.
Yep.
The other way to do it, people are doing right now, is through iodine, right? So that's a highly processed.
Right.
I don't think that, you know, if you look at like aspirin, acetaminophen, even vitamin C, vitamin B, D12, whatever you were talking about, those are extremely highly processed. And in other words, they're not like natural. They are synthetic or whatever. But does that mean that I'm a synthetic guy? I don't know. I hope not.
I don't.
No, I like it.
No,
Natural.
nobody over here is making spice or the K2 or nothing like that.
No.
This is a completely different.
So here
level.
we got the controversy. Okay, so
the
we did
that started
5
it
days
all.
ago. Did a post on D8 and just kind of did a poll a little bit and kind of just looked at it. So I got it kind of pulled up here on my screen. And you can see founder and CEO of extraktLAB. How many different reasons people are not giving Delta-8 the time of day? How do you feel about it personally? Nothing wrong with properly made D8. And when the market is hot, it brings out the money chasers who could care less about quality. That is an issue.
Absolutely.
So, but that doesn't mean it's not a legitimate product,
right?
Because there is quality issues.
Always going to be snake oil salesman.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have an old book, really old book on how to process marijuana. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And in the old days, literally a method. I gotta get this out. But you buy benzene, put it on your stove.
Oh my goodness.
Boil it up, and then the benzene comes off, and then but you have residual. You have benzene residual.
Oh, 100%.
We know that those are no good. Okay.
Right.
So So there was quality issues at that point in time. It's kind of any nascent or kind of small industry that grows up is going to have quality issues.
Absolutely.
They only see profits and have no problem putting people's health at risk to get it. That's the other thing. I mean, we see that all over the place.
Well, again, we had
the bathtub manufacturers.
Well,
for example.
The people asking about taking sprayed flower and making edibles with it like it's actual cannabis, and not really understanding that. That's not how that works.
Right.
If you're making edibles, hopefully you're using Delta-8 distillate or a distillate or some sort of full spectrum extract, and not just trying to repurpose flower because you can't sell it. That's just not good business.
Exactly. So what do you see as the main reason Delta-8 is facing such scrutiny? Okay, so then Delta-9 producers, the 20%.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting result there.
Yeah.
CBD producers, that's 8%. Okay. Synthetic creation, 58%. Yeah. That's really interesting.
I think that's the biggest.
So these, one thing I would caution with you guys about synthetic and stuff like that, I mean, again, going back to CBN, okay?
Yep.
I mean, that is, that's synthetic, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to cause it to, even distillate's not real if you think about it. I mean, there's
highly processed.
The plant does not make that nice golden, oil that's perfect at 90% plus potency with no terpenes in it whatsoever. I mean, that's a very highly processed product. Okay.
Yep.
And then set my cannabinoids free. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. That's good.
Yep.
Okay, so we got 102 votes. That's pretty cool. We're going to go through some of these comments and just shout out to people and see how they do. So we got, we're going to go from the beginning to the end here and just kind of see what people are saying about this. Let me see here. So the first one.
A lot of opinions.
Jason Soward. Okay, I would have clicked because it gets you high. You can buy it at a gas station. I like that, Jason.
I like your style,
yeah,
Jason.
I like your style. It's pretty good. I'm a fan. I enjoy D8. That's perceived skirting and regulation of the Farm Bill will certainly ruffle some feathers and draw scrutiny. Yeah, it's pretty good. You got some likes on there. 1,000% agree. Kendall. Also, kind of said yes to that. I can see that. I mean, it's an interesting perspective. Hey, look, I can buy it at the gas station. He's a fan of it. There's this perceived skirting of the regulation. We can kind of talk about that. I mean, it appears that in the 2018 Farm Bill that it appears that it's looking like it's kind of protected. Yeah. And then
that's what our lawyers are telling us.
Yeah, and then there's the everybody's out on the web. If you go look at it, the first thing that comes up is the memo from Wisconsin, and now you see the Texan guys. They're all like, okay, yeah, D8's So their point is that, hey, look, if you want this changed, you've got to change the law, right? Instead of just just saying, okay, hey, no, we don't like that, therefore you have to change it. So I can see that, and yeah, he's saying it's going to ruffle some feathers. It's a very nice answer that's kind of neutral, right?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But we definitely have some good opinions in here. Mark Hayward, 15% others is exactly what the regulars are not going to touch with the 10-foot pole. 99% of those others, roughly speaking, will need to be known. All regulars need to be looking for the 99% known overall. Sounds like there's still plenty of work to be done. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Lots of work to be done.
Absolutely. If we're not constantly moving forward, what are we learning?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't.
Exactly. I like a 15% others is exactly what the regulars are not going to touch with the 10-foot pole. So, yeah, I think, at the end of the day, we're constantly learning. We're constantly taking our methods, evolving them. I think, at the very outset of it, I thought, well, it's kind of ingenious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like what you would expect from hemp or cannabis innovators.
Absolutely.
This industry, I keep on saying, is attractive for all the top innovators ever. Okay, because they're trying to figure out how to do stuff. A lot of them are technologists.
Yep.
A lot of them are trying to get stuff going.
Scientists, doctors.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they're trying to pull their skills into the cannabis industry to further it and just.
This one, the plant does not produce Delta-8 THC. I don't know. There may be some in there in very low quantities.
They're very little amounts.
There's always going to be isomers, that are there. So I don't know, but not in any sort of normal quantity.
You're not going to extract it.
Think about this, like how much Delta-9 decarboxylated Delta-9 is found in a marijuana plant, or how much decarboxylated CBD.
Right.
Okay, so CBDA, right? Okay, you find CBDA in the plant. Do you find CBD decarboxylated in the plant?
Well, typically no, because
you don't.
It hasn't.
It's been processed.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
No,
we just came up with something.
Slowly chipping away at the wall there.
I don't know about that. Okay, so like for example, in order to quote unquote activate it or make it bioavailable, right? Typically, a person would need to decarboxylate
warm it up.
So warm it up. So they warm it up. They remove the CO2 from the molecule itself, and then it becomes a highly processed molecule. I mean, it's converting.
At that point,
it's a chemical conversion, guys.
Yeah, it's essentially what's going on. And so, education is key.
Okay, when you smoke it, that's called torfaction.
All right. Yeah, see, they're learning something new every day.
There it is right there. So, okay, that's good. Well, good comments there, Mark. And also, let me see here what we got. Any other ones? I know you read some of these. Are there anything that kind of sticks out to you, of ones that we should go over here?
Oh, well, I know Becky Little had some.
Okay.
Oh, we can go back to Mark Hayward here.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of good stuff to say. He's very, very knowledgeable.
Okay, a new compound. Nobody knows its properties or its effects on humans. Yeah, I think that... Right. I don't know if it's a new compound.
To some degree.
We have standards for them. So
it's been around since the mid 60s as well.
Yeah.
So there have been studies on it.
For example, Meshulam, you go look up in all the literature. I mean, he was converting to D8 back in the, what is it?
65?
Yeah, 65.
I mean,
that's been around a long time. And of course, they were looking at it for clinical applications.
Right.
You know, some of the people who use D8 and then they also use D9 and then now D10, interestingly enough, which is another isomer.
Yep.
You know, some people are saying, okay, well, what do I, you know, they would have different effects. I wonder if that's true. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
think, again, I have a feeling that it does. I have tried several other compounds, and they are slightly different. If you're just looking for a high and just want to feel different, like they'll all probably feel the same, but you'll feel little subtle nuances. So like with Delta-8, I've noticed, for me, it doesn't give me the munchies.
Right.
It doesn't put me into fits of laughter. It definitely makes me feel kind of high in a way, but not at all like Delta-9. And again, I've had Delta-9 distillate, and again, the distillate is much different than a whole flower. The effects.
So your body would have to actually metabolize it differently, and it would have to, you know, you'd think, from my perspective, it'd have to interact with with the receptors in your brain in a different way. So that's weird,
and it's different per person. It's literally different per person.
I
so,
wish someone would
we
write
got-
a paper on this. I'm sure, you know what? I bet you there's been papers written on it already. Guaranteed.
I guarantee there's. I talked with the
I
lady
just
in
don't know the
Clubhouse.
literature enough. I can't keep up with it. So
Yep, I talked with the lady in Clubhouse that was basically speaking on how different cannabinoids, interact with people in different ways, whether it's the same amount. We've got James over here. I mean, he'll get lit on he gets lit on THC-free gummies. No, I'm kidding. They're full spectrum, but like you wouldn't be able to tell if you ate a Delta-9 edible and we're talking 1 10 milligram gummy.
yeah.
So
I was looking at some of these gummies, and they're like, they have a lot of, it's going crazy. Okay, so the problem a lot with people who are entrepreneurs, they're always trying to one up the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're going to do a 20 milligram dose, then I'm going to do 25 milligram dose. Okay, if you're going to do 25, I'm going to do a 50. Okay, and then you got the big go big or go home guys.
My goodness.
And then they're doing hundreds. Okay, look, guys.
200 milligram Delta-8 gummy is going to hurt somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't. I don't care who you are.
It won't kill them, but
no,
it'll probably make them, vomit. And
sick. Yeah, I think we had
not
that.
Feeling good.
Some of the guys in the R&D department. I think somebody might have got sick off an actual 100 milligram gummy. So I mean.
Yeah, you shouldn't
anything over than
that. I mean, look, what's the dose? Your typical dose for CBD, typical dose for a cannabinoid would be 10 to 20 milligrams, right?
Yep.
I mean, per dose.
Right? I think they're even saying they want to drop it down to 5 because 10 is too much for some people.
Exactly.
So we don't want to overwhelm anybody.
Hey, here's one thing that we can just talk about really quick about bioavailability. Okay. So a lot of times people are trying to do larger doses because they're taking it orally,
right?
And it's not very very bioavailable in their system, so they're actually absorbing very small amounts of it, but they're taking lots of it. Okay?
Right.
And so a lot of people are thinking about that. Now, one thing that you should really think of if you're tempted to do nanoemulsions and things like that of highly processed materials.
Yep.
You also have to realize that you're nanoemulsifying and making much more bioavailable, like 1,000x. The process agents.
Right.
Exactly. So if you start off with, for example, an ethanol extracted CBD.
Yep.
Okay, and you're going to convert it into Delta-8.
Yep.
And you're going to do it in the normal way that you would do that. You're going to, you're going to have all the residuals associated with the ethanol, in there also.
Yep.
Those.
Hopefully they didn't use denatured.
Hopefully you didn't use denatured. Because the denatured is also going to
concentrate
and
getting into your body.
So it's making it more bioavailable in your body. Whatever else is left. So you got to make sure that if you're doing an acid conversion, you better make sure your acid is gone from your system, from a residual standpoint before you put it out there. Neutralized. There's nothing wrong with acid, guys. We have acid. Coca-Cola is, for example, very acidic.
Yeah, eat through pennies.
Yes, it'll eat through pennies. And if you drink it every night before you go to bed, your teeth will rot away.
Yes.
I mean, it's true.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a cause because of the acid or what. I don't know, but a lot of like people just say if you drink a lot of soda, soda
eats away at the enamel.
the enamel and stuff like that. there's nothing wrong with acid. The solution to acid is neutralization.
Exactly.
So you would, sodium bicarbonate or whatever, and then, basically a hydronium ion is sitting there, and it starts to react with the base, and it becomes water.
All right.
So, there's nothing wrong with acid. There's nothing wrong with base. It's just whether or not it's neutralized and
properly.
how it properly in there.
Yes.
So I don't have any problem with acid base. I mean, I love acid base chemistry. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like in my blood.
Right.
In my blood. Okay, so there's some other comments here. Let's go over some of those. Mark Hayward, thanks for all your comments. Those are pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Becky Little, all right. So here's a Path A MTASCP, American Journal of Endocannabinoid Medicine. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. She's I see you guys
looks like
connect
she's
a lot
got a lot
on there.
of likes. Oh, look, she's the best. Look at that. Oh, she's even got a heart with a clap on it. That's awesome. All right, shout out to you, Becky. Here, it's 6 replies. So her response was such small quantities made naturally in the cannabis plant. Okay, that's great. It's true. There are small quantities available there. Okay, you know what? It's only going to be a matter of time before the breeders figure out how to, that.
They're
right?
working on it. Oh yeah. They're probably a little ways away still, but
if the plant can make a little bit, then they're going to, they'll get the strain, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5,
keep bumping it up bit by bit.
Yeah, bit by bit.
Or we could just call up Monsanto and have it done like that.
What we'd like is a little vector to put in there.
Right.
Yes. You could always call those guys too.
Yeah.
But,
I think they're waiting for federal, personally.
Okay.
And everybody better watch out.
No medical purpose, and especially synthetically derived, previous synthetic cannabinoids are not helpful, but FDA approved and insurance pays. Okay. So yes, insurance pays, FDA approved, yes.
Yep.
Not helpful. Wait, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think they would be there if they weren't helping people.
Well, yeah, they have clinical data that proves, because they're approved. So the clinical data says, hey, it's not okay. So I think you have this is kind of where the natural people who want a natural solution, kind of butt heads with the pure clinical people. Okay. Yeah. Because the pure clinical people, like Marinol, is a synthetic THC, right?
It absolutely.
And I think is it an O-acetate? I don't know. Maybe a derivative even. I'm not really sure.
I know it's made in a lab. They're not growing plants.
I've heard that from many medical doctors, by the way. Marinol is no good, But mostly medical marijuana, medical doctors who are involved in medical marijuana. That's where I've heard that from. So there's a good reason for it to not. I don't know. But if you have an approved drug from the FDA for a certain indication, by definition, the science is saying that you have an effective treatment for that.
Right.
Given the limits of placebo and all of that. Right.
Right. And again, may not be as effective as like a whole plant. But hey, again, you have to pinpoint what is causing the effects and, like you said, how it's helping.
But okay, so there it is, right there. Boy, I'm glad someone doesn't do this to me. Dissect all. Maybe I should stop right here because I really like Becky Little. Okay, no medical purpose. That's actually Meshulam has a bunch of patents on that, and he's been doing a lot of clinical research with the Delta-9. Yep. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of that cat's been out of the bag for a long time.
Yeah, the benefits are known.
He has done some work there, and pretty amazing stuff. I mean, synthesizing it back in the 60s. So
be an interesting guy to talk to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she's coming from the perspective of, hey, look, I like natural. I think that's her perspective. Right?
Absolutely.
I like natural, products. And if I had a choice between a natural and synthetic product, I would choose the natural. And then you have the clinician on the other side saying, that's not science. That's not medicine.
Right.
Medicine is, pure compounds and that's Marinol, right? I mean, that's those guys.
Which is true. I mean, you can't, how do we know every single time that you grow a plant, it's going to hit 15% with X amount of, these terpenes. So it's going to be beneficial every single time. It's hard to be able to do that. And I think, again, that's what doctors are afraid of because there's no standardization. They can't say, okay, go smoke some green crack and, it's going to help with your glaucoma or, help you sleep or whatever. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So anyway, but she's got a lot of replies here. We should load these previous replies and see what we got here. okay, there. Oh, yeah, I agree. It sounds something like that. And then the whole plant, nothing but the whole plant, nothing but the truth. I swear.
Yeah, right. That's the way to go, though.
Oh,
Becky,
yeah.
I definitely like where Becky's coming from.
Yeah,
I love that
definitely.
attitude because it's mine as well. But again, from a clinician, pharmaceutical standpoint, you can't just say, "Hey, yeah, a whole plant's going to work for everything."
Yeah,
Let's figure out what's going to help for what.
I was doing that interview with, with Jason Dyke, and he's the guy who has that big database up in Canada, 180,000.
Yeah,
crazy.
He's doing great things, by the way. If you're not following Jason Dyke, go follow him.
Okay, so what's interesting about it is because it's federally legal, and he's up there, and they're looking at it from basically the data from an epidemiology standpoint, saying, okay, I got 180,000 people. They all want to consume full spectrum, but how can we possibly do full spectrum clinical because you have all the terpenes in there, which are known to have these, anti-inflammatory effects, different effects for all these other things. And then you just basically have a stew and you're working and then you're trying to say, this is beneficial.
Right.
Or you're trying to say, you have a stew, and then you're trying to take one component of the stew and say that's the cause of all of the benefit.
Right.
So that's the problem. But what he has done, he recently produced a paper that really talks about all the gaps in research and what it says and what it doesn't say. So it's pretty interesting. We should do that sometime for a podcast. But in this case, some of the things that they pulled out of the data was things that are not clinical, which are really interesting. Like it doesn't increase the number of people hitting the emergency room,
right? Or
it doesn't increase. It significantly decreases the relapse or the relapse of or the reordering of opioids, for example.
We've seen that in legal states here.
That's a huge benefit in and of itself. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So that D8 and D9 would probably fit the bill in both ways, maybe. I don't know. So
I think so. I definitely think they could.
A lot of people have, interestingly enough, the data, because it's so convoluted with the the way they're making the medicines and everything, it's how do you say, okay, D9 is responsible to reduce pain? Right. Or is it directly on pain? Or, you can say, okay, it's inflammation or whatever. But then you look at the science of it, and they're like, okay, well, we don't have it. We haven't quite nailed it.
Right. And
that's what that paper's all about. Is hey guys, here's all the gaps in research. Right.
Here's
all the gaps. Let's go fill them.
Yep.
And see, is this true? Are claims true? Are claims not true? And do we need a more purified way of looking at it so we can actually make claims?
Right.
So
I think that's what needs to happen.
Of course, they just legalized it anyway, and so they're just looking at it from an epidemiology standpoint. So, and I think that's a really good way to do it.
I mean, you have to let the people figure it out.
Yeah.
There's enough people in this industry.
Does aspirin work for you? Well, no, I took one; it didn't work for me. But then, people use aspirin for blood thinners. They use, they use it for
more than one use
for other things, right?
Exactly.
Even, or maybe Advil works better for me than Tylenol.
And I'm sure people
throwing all these brand names, but acetaminophen versus
right.
Whatever. So anyway, so thanks a lot, Becky Little, for all those comments. It was really good conversation. So
thanks, Becky.
Darwin, hey Darwin, how you doing? D8 facing much scrutiny because hemp people have blurred the lines so bad that now everyone's confused. I like Darwin's he's like, okay, go right for the jugular. That's pretty awesome. Most troubling, the regulators are confused. I hope they're not confused. And confusion leads to reactionary consequences. I like his answer. I mean, it's a pretty good answer. I mean, no confusion should take place. I mean, we have an isomer of a molecule. Is there contamination? Sure. With some people, there is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're making it in the garage.
Right, exactly. The other thing is that we haven't talked about that really is kind of a D8, D9 Smackdown thing. Really is, when you make it, you tend to have some D9 in there. You have to dilute it to make it 0.3%.
Right.
And I noticed that there's pens out there that are claiming no D9 at all, and then you bring it into the laboratory and there's lots of D9 in there.
Right. Well,
and so look, are you? And then they're putting it out. They're making false claims. Right? And then I even went on Kush.com. We bought some off of Kush.com. I mean, it had lots of D9 in it.
And
they said no. They said it was none.
Yeah,
it was
we don't
D9
have any
in there. Nothing.
Well, and it's not just the producers that are causing the issue. It's the labs as well.
It's the labs too.
It's so easy for them to say, well, hey, we tested it, and that huge peak. That's those peaks. That's all D8. Because D8, D9
in my view, guys, that's a total fraud. Okay, I'll just say it right out. So
absolutely.
Analytical chemists out there listening to this, as from one analytical chemist to another, if you can't do a separation where you separate out D8, D9, you're not doing your job.
Nope.
That's it. So
bad actor.
Another thing is they're going to use the consumer or the company that you do that work for. They are going to use that, and they're going to put it on their QR code, and that QR code is going to go to your logo.
Yeah.
And then the logo is going to be there, and then it's going to go to another company because you somehow worked it out with them.
Right.
That
absolutely.
we're gonna run this standard method so that we don't really report the amount of
we
D8,
don't find
D9.
it. Yep.
We don't find it. This is what selectivity. You guys have tuned into our podcast before. In order for a method to be valid, it must be selective, right?
Yep.
For the compounds that you're trying to match it for. So,
right.
Maybe it could also be that the company just said, hey, look, we only do D9. This is the D8 test, and we're only going to test for D8.
Yeah.
Well, that's manipulation too.
Exactly.
Total manipulation.
No,
right?
and
there's been lots of instances, unfortunately, with bad actors on the analytical chemistry side. Not anybody that I know, but
right.
You can. We have.
It's an industry making money.
Yeah, it's an industry making money, and there's people gonna put it up there, and they're just gonna.
They don't care. They just want a piece of it
and give it out. And okay, if they get a bad reputation, whatever, they don't care.
They'll shut it down.
They'll just shut it down.
Start another one. I mean,
because it's not. They're not like they care about building a brand.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So they want to hit when the pan is hot. They're gonna flash the pan.
As it legitimizes and they start pushing these bad actors out.
So thanks, Darwin. Yeah, thanks, Darwin, for that. Most in synthetic yuck sounds like pharma, not cannabis to me. Yeah, I hear it.
You're right. I get where you're coming from, but again, where's that whole plant patent?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for putting in your comments on the LinkedIn post, taking the survey. We really appreciate that. If you want to subscribe to our we have a channel basically on LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
So, follow us, follow me. We'll put out more surveys for you guys. It was really fun interacting with you. And put some comments in this post also. Like our post, subscribe to our YouTube and our podcast. We have lots of podcasts going up on a wide-ranging amount of subjects. I mean,
doesn't matter what platform you listen to. If we're on there, guarantee it.
Exactly. Yeah. So download our podcast. Also, don't forget our mini courses and our guides.
I built some of those.
I mean,
you guys
the mini courses are really popular, and we're starting to add in, like a lot of people, like backed by popular demand or whatever. But we're starting to add in now certification. So where you can go through our course and then certify, and of course we're updating content and making it. But I tell you, the content that we put out on our cast is in our mini courses is really good.
Yeah.
It's high quality.
Absolutely.
It's higher quality than probably you'll see in your.
There are people paying for courses that are less than what we're offering.
Oh yeah, so people are paying for college credits, for example, that are less than what we're offering. You talk about a college professor who knows nothing at all about it and is talking about it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they're paying for the course and the credit and the certification. They wouldn't even scratch the surface of what we're covering in our free courses.
Yeah.
So really, honestly, guys, go ahead and avail yourself of those. Yep. And hopefully next time you can, just go ahead and tune in next week for our next episode. And thanks a lot for joining us.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. All right. See you later. Bam.